Yes. Hey, what's going on, nerds around the world? And welcome to another episode of Nerds Unite. That's one podcast. We have a very special show for you tonight, and we're doing with all things Marvel. I mean, with superheroes. This is like one of the topics that we center here on the show. And I got a great panel to me to talk about this particular topic, beginning with Colton Hunt. Colton, what's going on?
Hey, everyone. We're one step closer to Spider-Man Homecoming. I can hardly wait.
Spider-Man.
Of course, if Spider-Man Homecoming lets me down, I'm setting this book on fire. Okay, I'm not literally setting it on fire, but I will be deeply heartbroken, and I will metaphorically set it on fire in my mind.
I don't know whether I should set my Spider-Man 2 DVDs on fire, or it's just, I don't know. It's just like I'm feeling very ambivalent about it at this point. Also, we have from Geeks Out is Mike Gillick. Mike, what's going on?
Hey, glad to be back as usual. Colton, don't set it on fire. Just send it to me. I'll take it.
Yeah, Mike doesn't want it. I mean, excuse me, you don't want it. Let Mike have it. Mike have it. I mean, come on. It looks like a pretty solid book to read. I mean, I want it myself. So yeah. All right. I mean, Easter eggs. Most of them are permanent in movies around nowadays. Most of them like in references or like little snippets of theme songs, particular incarnations of the Marvel comics, you know, and such things can give us can put a little grin on our face or make us squeal like little girls. And did any of these make our list? Well, we'll find out tonight. So I will start off with myself, going from number 5 to number 1. My number 5 number 5 on my list is the Infinity Gauntlet from Thor. Yeah. We got, I mean, and this is 2011. We got 3 films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe: Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man 2. Of course, like it was announced that it was a shared universe. Beginning, I mean, in formation, it's going to be at work here. And 4 was the 4th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it featured various Easter eggs. One of them to particularly stand out was the Infinity Gauntlet. I was like myself. And when you look at that, several things pop into mind. Can you see like Thanos cameo, or possible Thanos involvement? Maybe because like we didn't know at this point the Marvel Cinematic Universe was still forming, but eagle-eyed fans who saw that nevertheless were delighted. Even myself was like to see that object pop into the film, and so obviously over Agamotto, but the one, of course, is the one. What, of course, the Infinity Gauntlet itself, particularly, you know, delighted fans, and it's just like, and then, of course, then had their imaginations run wild. Of course, we got an Infinity Gauntlet, and there's Avengers Infinity War, so seems like the fans' wishes came true. All right, Mike, why don't you give us number 5 on your list?
All right, my number 5 is from X-Men: Days of Future Past. As Mystique is on the military base, I think in Vietnam or whatever, as she's walking through in her human form, if you take a look at her name tag, she's Colonel Sanders.
What?
I didn't notice that.
Yep. It's not like a big meaningful Easter egg, but you know what? Some Easter eggs are just there for laughs, and dude, Mystique is Colonel Sanders. That is freaking
How
awesome.
nobody noticed that?
Well, some people did.
I mean, like, none of the people in the movie would think someone walking around with that's how unobservant we are, I guess.
Well, yeah, so, just a little funny thing there, but, yeah, that's my number 5.
Strange, but interesting. I'm not sure what to make of that, but still strange and interesting. All right, Colton, why don't you give us a number 5 on your list?
Number 5 on my list is from Captain America: The Winter Soldier, where we see Nick Fury's tombstone. On it reads Colonel Nicholas J. Fury, and underneath it reads, "The path of the righteous man."
It's beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and tyranny of evil men. I'm not even gonna go into that, but still, I love that movie.
Are you finished, Chris?
I'm finished. I'm just kidding.
Good. 'Cause I wouldn't want to have to strike you down with great vengeance, and but however that speech goes.
No. And Furious.
But anyway, the path of the righteous man, Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 17, which, as any film fan that has any knowledge, which is something that any film fan would of course know, is a reference to one of Samuel L. Jackson's most famous roles in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, where I think he actually incorrectly quotes part of that passage, but nevertheless, it's a pretty cool reference and whatnot, and it's one of those things that people will smile at, and it's pretty relevant to this movie, since it's about a righteous man, in this case being Captain America himself. Though in this case, Captain didn't die. Well, he hasn't died yet. Who knows? Maybe that's foreshadowing to the fact that he's not going to make it through Infinity War.
Hey, don't jinx it.
Yeah, please don't. And I will strike down upon you with great vengeance and furious anger, those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord, but I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Preach, brother, preach.
I love that movie so much. Let's get a kick out of that. Who doesn't get a kick out of that? Oh, man. I need to stop. Okay, number 4. I'm right. The hell?
Sorry.
Yeah, that must have been a little technical glitch there, I guess. All right, number 4 on my list is the Doctor Strange name drop from Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I always love when these kinds of things, occur in these kinds of movies. Of course, like I said, fans get a kick out of it. Like I said, imagination runs wild. It's like, are these characters going to be in the movie, in future films or not? But nevertheless, it is interesting to speculate. Definitely. Of course, I love the character Doctor Strange. Of course, we got him in a full live action movie. We don't have to worry about that shit TV movie from the 70s. My God, people think lightly. It's just like with stuff like that. You can't. It's just like you can't help but love Doctor Strange. He's basically like almost Tony Stark's twin brother. Let me stop. But yeah. It's just but you get stuff like this excites the fan. So when references like this are dropped, it's like the same with the Infinity Gauntlet. I mean, we have that, and it's the same reason I love the Infinity Gauntlet. Something we didn't expect, but we get to actually see it, and it actually happens. Of course, we get to see also another reference. We also get to see the Avengers Tower for a brief moment in that movie, which I truly like. But yeah, the Doctor Strange name drop is something that it's an Easter egg that was well put. In that movie. Every time I look at it, I just smile. I just had this white grin on my face. All right, Mike, why don't you give us a number 4 on your list?
All right, my number 4 is from the Daredevil movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it is Kevin Smith's character.
Oh yeah, Kirby.
He plays a coroner, and he plays Jack Kirby, the coroner.
Yep.
And that has any knowledge of comic book history knows the name Jack Kirby.
Yep.
Probably besides maybe Stan Lee, is probably the most influential comic book artist, creator / whatever in comic book history. And I was really glad that they managed to sneak in that little Easter egg for that. I mean, plus it was played by Kevin Smith, who's one of the biggest comic book nerds around. Yeah. So that's my number 4. Kevin Smith is Jack Kirby.
Okay, all right, great. Why don't you give us a number 4 on your list?
Okay, I'm not entirely sure if this really is an Easter egg or not, but I'll just say it and see what happens. But anyway, so we're in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. We're in the third act, and when we see Gwen, you might notice that she's wearing an outfit that seems kind of familiar to comic book readers, as in the outfit she wears in the iconic the death of Gwen Stacy comic book, issue 121, issue 121, and what I liked about it is that it actually the outfit doesn't look out of place, so to speak, and it's just something that comic book readers will probably see and be like, oh yeah, she's fucked, so to speak.
Actually, another bit to that little Easter egg there. Do you know what time the clock stops at?
121.
Yep.
Indeed. And I think there's actually another brief Easter egg in that movie where during a talk between Gwen and Peter, there's a sign behind Gwen that reads Forever 21, as in Gwen's not getting any older.
Mm-hmm.
This movie that's pretty dark actually now that I think of it. But yeah, it's like at first they look like they might be going towards the bridge, but then they go away from it, so you think that Gwen might be safe, but when you realize that she's dressed like she is in the comic, it's a pretty good way of sort of, cluing audiences into or adept, knowledgeable comic book readers into Gwen's fate, that she's not going to make it through this film and all that jazz. And I'm going to give the costume department their props for making the costume actually, look organic and not like, something that they did not look organic and not, not stand out to the audiences, I guess you could say.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay. No. Okay. Going to number 3. Going to number 3 for me is Captain America's shield from Iron Man 2. It's just and then you can see even in Iron Man 1, you can see it in the background, but in this, we get a full glimpse of the thing. I thought that was a great touch on the filmmaker's part of bringing that in. I mean, even it's just I don't mean to reiterate what I've said before, but it's something that you didn't expect to happen. Something we didn't expect to see, but we get to actually see it in later films. For me, it's just like with me, it kind of, to me, being kind of a pessimist. Not really a pessimist, skeptic. Really, when I looked at it the first time, it's like, oh, come on. It's not like we're actually going to see Cap's shield. It's not like we're going to see the character herself, but we get to see the character herself. It's not something that you would really notice, I suppose. I'm not really sure where I'm going with this, but yeah. It's a nice movie that you actually get a full glimpse of the shield in the movie. Like I said, another great little touch that they featured in that movie. All right, Mike, why don't you give us a number 3 on your list?
All right, my number 3 is from the first Thor movie. Mm-hmm. In that city in New Mexico that they're in. Mm-hmm. If you take a look, one of the billboards says Land of Enchantment, which is the motto of New Mexico. But it says Land of Enchantment, Journey into Mystery. And anyone that's a big fan of Thor comics, like I am, he was reintroduced in the comic book series Journey into Mystery.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't remember exactly which number it was. I can look it up. But, it is the first Thor movie, and they're referencing the very first comic that he was introduced in. And that was just, it was a nice little Easter egg that they threw in there. And, for people that really love the Thor comics like me, it was very well played. So yeah, that's my number 3.
Cool.
Okay. All right, that's great. That's a great excellent choice. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right, Colton, why don't you give us a number 3 on your list?
Number 3 on my list is from Deadpool. So we find Deadpool walking into that bad guy bar that he frequents. And as he's walking inside, he very quickly says hi to someone named Liefeld, and then keeps walking on. And the best part is that first it seems like it's just him randomly saying hi to someone named Liefeld as a shout out to his creator, being Rob Liefeld. But then you stop and realize that was actually Rob Liefeld sitting down there. It was like the movie was basically making a meta joke before Wade actually became Deadpool. It's a very cool blink or you miss it kind of moment. So yeah, that's my number 3. Just a fun, quick little cameo right there.
There were actually a lot of nice little cameos in a lot of movies. Like what almost made my list is Ed Brubaker, the guy who brought back Bucky and made him the Winter Soldier. He was in the Winter Soldier.
Really? Who?
Yep.
Where?
In the scene where Bucky was getting like his brain scrambled again.
Yeah.
He was one of the white scientists, the guy with a big old beard in it.
That's pretty clever, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to look at that scene. I had to look at that movie again. To spot out for that, look at that very closely. All right, going on to number 2. Number 2 on my list is the Lou Ferrigno cameo in The Incredible Hulk. Yeah, just love it. Who doesn't love Lou Ferrigno as a Hulk? I'm not really like a huge fan of the 1970s, early 80s TV series on the Hulk. I think it's okay. Don't get me wrong. It's a solid show, but I'm not like a big overall fan of it. But of course, one of the great things that come out of that show was Lou Ferrigno, who plays the Hulk. And of course, Lou Ferrigno has seeped himself into making appearances, little cameos, in Marvel movies prior to The Incredible Hulk. I believe he was I believe he voiced the Hulk. I don't know, in the 2008 movie. Excuse me, not 2008, 2003 movie. I'm not really sure.
No, he did. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well he did, of course.
We don't speak of the 2003 movie.
I'm sure it's not that. Well, I'm going on. Of course, he does them again in the Avengers. It's just like even without some are not likely to. Well, we're not likely to miss his appearance, but but to us, this could have been one that Luna might have been growling and grumbling to go back to, but it was often generous of him to see him, make like an appearance, as a nod to the previous incarnation of the character. It's one that can make that makes me smile, and just like it's like and make it absolutely delighted, and just like that. It's just so cool of him to make an appearance in the movie, even if it's a brief one. It was a very small part. This one's for movie trivia fans only. Come on. You're not going to, if you're not a big fan of Marvel comics or anything like that, you're not going to get how you're not going to get the significance of his appearance in this movie. But still, it's great. It's still, like I said, it makes me smile every single time I see him in that movie. All right, Mike, why don't you give us a number 2 on your list?
Actually, I just looked it up. Lou Ferrigno voiced the Hulk in The Incredible Hulk as well, the 2008 one.
Oh, right. He did voice him in 2008. Yeah.
But so my number 2 is from Captain America: The First Avenger. Mm-hmm. It is Captain America punching Hitler.
From the comic. It was from the comic.
Yep. As most people that really follow the Captain America comics know, the very first issue of Captain America #1 from like 1947, 43, somewhere around there, I had a big old spread of Captain America socking Hitler right in the jaw.
You don't get more Captain America than that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most Captain America of Captain Americas, and that's what he did on his big old stage play in order to gather around support for the troops and people buy war bonds.
Seriously, defense bonds. Each bond you buy is a bullet in the barrel of your best guy's gun.
That is a tongue twister.
Indeed.
But hey, as soon as I was watching the movie and Yeah, I saw Hitler comes like, he's gonna punch him. He punched him. It's like that's just a perfect setup right there. It's great little callback, and it fits the characters so well. So, yeah, my number 2 is Captain America punching out Hitler.
All right, excellent. Great pick. I mean, loving that one. All right, Cole. Why don't you give us a number 2 on your list?
All right, this Easter egg is a bit more. It's a bit bigger than the Easter eggs we've been talking about previously, but this one goes to X-Men: Days of Future Past. So, as we all know, in Days of Future Past, the movie, Wolverine is the one that goes back in time to set right what once went wrong. But in Days of Future Past, the comic, the person that goes back is actually Kitty Pryde. So, in Days of Future Past, the film, the person that sends Wolverine back in time is Kitty. Somehow, it's never really explained, but it's a good nod to anyone that's read the comics. They're in a good way to keep Kitty from being, her role in the story from being completely reduced or cut out, especially considering how notorious the X-Men films were for downplaying or just outright cutting out certain X-Men altogether and what have you. I'm still pissed off about what they did to Cyclops, but well, he might be getting to do in this new series. So
Fuck you, Brenner.
Although it does also beg the question, since when is Kitty Pryde's power abilities included sending people's consciousness through time?
The official explanation I've heard is just that she learned to. That's just an extension of her phasing abilities. I don't know how it works. It makes no sense, but
yeah, I call bullshit on that.
Yeah, me too. But like I said, it's a nice way. It's a nice way to not downplay her involvement in a pretty iconic storyline, and it gives probably one of her more badass moments where the Sentinels are about to fry her and Bishop, and she's like, "Too late, assholes!" And then they disappear due to them resetting the timeline. As an added Easter egg to that, the first person she sends back in time is actually Bishop, which is a callback to X-Men the animated series, where the Days of Future Past storyline in that show involved Bishop going back in time instead.
Yeah, it's a minor nitpick in an otherwise really solid movie, so I can overlook it.
All right. Great pick. All right, and we're on to the top spot. All right, number 1. All right, number 1 on my list for me is the Wolverine cameo from X-Men First Class.
Classic.
That is a classic cameo. There's a classic Easter egg. Oh my goodness, and it's like who doesn't? It's like Hugh Jackman. I mean, you cannot. When it comes to Wolverine, you cannot imagine anyone else other than him playing that role. It's just like it's a scene where Charles Xavier, of course, Eric Lensher, of course, Magneto, are trying to recruit mutants, trying to find mutants to enroll their school, and they happen to go across Logan, who says very directly, "Go fuck yourself."
and the best part about it is that they actually just turn around and leave,
It almost comes back to bite him in the ass when he visits Charles Xavier in the next film, and it's like, "We asked for your help once. What'd you say to us? Fuck off." And which almost cost him. It's like, Logan, you dipshit. Oh my god! Like I said, like you said, it could have come off as kind of gratuitous or rather pointless, but it actually works in the context of the film. Actually, and not only is that, it's like it could have been like like I said, come up it's gratuitous, but it works.
It was the right kind of gratuitous, though. I mean, because
maybe.
Up until that point, Wolverine had been he had been at the height of his overexposure and all that jazz. So at first it looked like this was going to be the first movie where Wolverine just wasn't there. So to see him just make an out of nowhere cameo was not only was unexpected, but for him to just straight up tell Charles and Magneto to go fuck themselves, and then they just turn around and leave. That's just that was probably the best use of Wolverine up to that point, because they don't. I mean, I know that sounds kind of sad when you stop and think about it, but I mean, well, he got better as the franchise went on. But yeah, it was like a great way to use Wolverine without, just for once they were like, okay, we're just gonna have Wolverine show up. We know he's popular. We're not gonna overexpose him. We're like, we know we can just have him show up just for like 1 second, and the audience is cheering. And they're like, okay, that's enough Wolverine. Back to the main story now.
Yeah, the funny thing is, if he had had any more lines, that scene would not have worked.
Exactly.
It worked so well because it was just, hi, I'm Eric Fincher. This is Charles Xavier. Go fuck yourself. Okay.
I think the best part about that is that it's like probably the quickest cameo from the most popular character you can pop from like one of comic book history's most popular characters. Like in Suicide Squad, Batman has like three scenes in that movie despite having nothing to do with it. In Civil War, Spider-Man has an entire mini subplot to himself. In X-Men and in X-Men First Class, it's just go fuck yourself.
Yeah, very direct, very unapologetic. Like I said, yeah, he, like Colton said, I guess he was overexposed at that point, but it was a great nod that it was a great nod, and Hugh Jackman played it off brilliantly, and that was like a great moment. It still cracks me up.
Imagine if they have a callback to that scene in Deadpool 2.
Oh my!
Like he shows up. Oh, Hugh Jackman! I'm such a big fan. Go fuck yourself. Oh.
Okay.
He walks away.
Take note, Marvel producers.
It goes to show that no matter what material he's given, Hugh Jackman is going to make it work.
Absolutely, yeah. For that brief appearance, he made it work. Oh my god, that's just absolutely masterful. Oh my god,
man, I'm gonna miss that guy.
Damn it. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Mike, why don't you give us number one on your list?
All right, my number one is from Iron Man 2. That post-credit sequence. You see, Coulson pulls up. He says, "Sir, we found it." Hands down. You see the big old hammers just sticking out of the ground, and you hear a thunder crash.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow! Nothing could have made me more excited for the next movie than that one shot.
Oh, yeah.
I was giddy. Had shivers walking out of that theater. Oh.
I have to admit, when I saw Thor's hammer, I'm like, Thor, seriously? Because admittedly, I wasn't really. It wasn't until the Avengers where I was really into the MCU, because remember, like I've said before, I did not read any of the comics for any of the characters, so I really didn't know what any of them were really about. So I was kind of just going with it due to franchise loyalty and whatnot. But yeah, looking back at it now, that was a very good cameo, especially when Coulson was talking about how he was going on a new mission and whatnot, and he wouldn't be around for much longer. And for most of the movie, I was thinking, wow, he's leaving? Man, I'm gonna miss that guy. And then the post-credit sequence shows. And then we get the post-credit scene. We find out that he found Thor's hammer. That was it was a pleasant surprise actually.
Yeah. I was really looking forward to. I knew that they were doing a Thor movie next because I'd heard the news. And I was really looking forward to seeing what they would do with it, and just to have that hammer there. I was like, they're actually going to bring in the hammer. They're bringing in Thor. They're bringing in Mjolnir. I cannot wait. So, yeah, that just the amount of excitement that Easter egg gave me puts it at number one. Thor's hammer in Iron Man 2.
All right, very good pick, Mike. Very good pick. All right, Colton, why don't you give us number one on your list?
Number one on my list is from Spider-Man 2. We're at the Daily Bugle. Dr. Octopus is on the loose now, and so of course they gotta give him a name. So J. Jonah Jameson says to one of his employees, "What are we gonna call this guy? Dr. Octopus? Crap. Science Squid? Crap. Doctor Strange. That's pretty good, but it's taken." That line never fails to crack me up. It's like you never really hear most people. It's like it was probably one of the first times we got to where it was like the closest we were gonna get to knowing about other superheroes existing and another superhero movie. It's like at best sometimes they'll be referred to as that other guy or something like that, but this is like I think the first time where they like just flat out say another hero's name, and then James And James is like, that's good, but we can't use it because it's already been used by somebody else. It's a great nod to other heroes existing, and it never fails to put a smile on my face, among other things.
All right, great. That's excellent. I mean, we got a great list for everyone. All right, that's awesome. All right, everyone, that concludes our show. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, this is really, really a lot of fun. I mean, really, really a lot of fun diving into this particular topic. You chose some of them were quite surprising. Some of them were quite noticeable, but it was enjoyable doing this topic and doing this episode. I'd like to thank the people who are joining me. Mike, it was a pleasure having you. It was great.
Hey, always a pleasure being back here, chatting some Marvel movies, some DC movies, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to be talking about it with you guys.
All right.
Indeed.
All right, Mike. Colton, it was great having you on the show. It's great having you.
It was great to be here. I'm glad I could join the show. And real quick, one quick honorable mention. I didn't put it on my list because I don't really know much of the context surrounding the actual scene itself. But in Captain America: Civil War, during Peggy's funeral, when Sharon Carter is reading reading that speech, it's a quote. It's like quoted almost directly from a speech that Captain America himself gives. I don't know where it's from, but it's a pretty badass way, I thought, to work that in and give Cap his motivation to do what he's going to be doing throughout Civil War.
It's a much abbreviated version of that quote, but it is from the first Civil War storyline. I can't remember the exact issue, but it is one of the best lines that Cap's ever had in comic book history, I think. It is a really good one.
Indeed. I couldn't exactly imagine this version of Cap saying it out loud because he seems to, I don't know, it seems a bit more aggressive than what this Cap would say, but I like how they worked it. I liked how they worked it in, though, It's great. And Sharon Carter's actress, she did a good job delivering.
I believe this compromise where you can, where you can't, don't. Even if everyone's telling you that something is wrong, something right, even if the whole world's telling you to move, it is your duty to plant yourself a tree, look at them in the eye, and say, "No, you move." You move.
Love that one.
Excellent. I love that. Excellent.
Just hearing you say it again just gave me shivers. Such a good line.
Oh, wow.
I just watched that movie again just a few days ago. I love it.
I gotta watch that movie again because
I feel like watching it myself right now.
Best Marvel Cinematic Universe made right. Best Marvel Cinematic Universe movie made right now.
Well, one of them. I still think Winter Soldier might be better than it slightly. I'm not entirely sure.
I can't disagree with you, but for me, Civil War was something, a whole nother level.
Definitely. Excellent. Absolutely. I mean, it's a great honorable mention, Colton. I mean, make sure you tune in next week where we have another episode on our show. Until next time, goodbye.
See ya.